Title: Heartbeats on the Cliff. A Forester reckoning. Steffy returned to the cliff house under a soft sunset sky, her footsteps light, but her heart pounding like a drum. For days, she had been holding onto a secret that could change everything. A slim white stick had drawn to pink lines and shattered the rhythm of her carefully rebuilt life. The house was quiet when she walked in, the ocean whispering through open windows, Finn waiting by the kitchen island, sipping from a mug and glancing over medical journals without really reading them. She didn't speak right away. She took a breath, her fingers trembling as she pulled the test from her bag and laid it on the counter between them. He stared at it, then at her. His eyes didn't blink. For a moment, the air stopped moving. "We're having a baby," she said, barely a whisper. He dropped the mug. Ceramic hit tile and shattered, but neither of them looked down. Finn was frozen, jaw slack, voice caught in his throat. Then emotion surged up in his chest, his face crumpling as he reached for her. "A baby," he breathed. "We're having a baby," she nodded through tears. They held each other, locked in disbelief, joy, fear of everything. It was too early for announcements, for celebrations. They decided together, not a word until they could hear the heartbeat, until it felt real. But nothing ever stayed quiet in their world. Outside the cliff house, past the line of brush and down the edge of the bluff, a figure lurked. Sheila. She had heard whispers from a source she wouldn't name, maybe a nurse, maybe a bribed receptionist that Steffy had bought a test. And now she was watching, desperate and deranged, clutching a pair of baby booties in her bag and convincing herself she just wanted to be a grandmother. A good one this time. A part of something. But her definition of love twisted around obsession like barbed wire. Her eyes flickered between the windows, watching for shadows, for signs, for proof. Her presence remained unknown for now. Back in the city, news trickled in slowly and selectively. Steffy told her parents first, just the two of them. Taylor's face lit up with maternal pride, tears forming instantly. Ridge, speechless for a rare moment, pulled Steffy into a long, protective embrace. Brooke was next. Despite years of war, she stood beside Ridge and Taylor, putting history aside to share in the moment. "Every child is a blessing," she said, surprisingly gentle. "This baby will bring light." Even Brooke couldn't find a reason to ruin the moment. The Logan Forester truce, however temporary, held strong for now. But Ridge wasn't naive. He'd lived through too many ambushes, betrayals, and backroom plots. He went straight to Thomas, told him everything, and asked just one thing. "You keep her safe. You don't sleep, you don't blink, unless someone's there with her. Understand?" Thomas didn't hesitate. "I'll be her shadow." Back at Cliff House, the world slowed. Days passed in soft rituals, her hand on her stomach, his hand over hers, the quiet waiting for the appointment that would make it real. Finn turned into someone new overnight. He triple-checked every vitamin, vetted every food, adjusted the house temperature like an obsessive guardian. At night, he lay awake, staring at the ceiling, counting heartbeats he couldn't yet hear. His own childhood had been haunted by confusion and pain. His child will never know that. He swore it. And then, the night came. The waiting room was empty. Just the two of them. Her fingers interlaced with his as they sat in silence. The technician dimmed the lights and applied the gel. Time stretched thin. Then it happened. A sound, small and rhythmic, steady as a drum in the dark. The heartbeat. Strong. Alive. Finn broke. Tears poured down his face, silent and unrestrained. He held Steffy's hand to his chest as if to anchor himself to the moment. "That's our baby," he whispered. "That's our baby." He kissed her forehead, overwhelmed. "I will protect you both," he said. "No matter what. No matter who." The camera lingered on the monitor's flickering light of new life. It was the emotional centerpiece of the week. Not just for the characters, but for the audience. Jacqueline McInnes-Wood, who played Steffy, had gone into labor that same week in real life. The show wove her maternity leave into the plotline masterfully. After the ultrasound, Steffy began to slow down. The next few episodes showed her resting, wrapped in blankets, surrounded by flowers, Thomas checking on her, Taylor bringing soup, Rich reading out loud to her in a rare moment of levity. The screen dimmed slightly during these scenes, music soft and nostalgic. The audience understood. These were the transition episodes, allowing Steffi to quietly step away for a few days while the world around her continued to spin. But not everything paused. Outside the perimeter, Sheila was losing control. The heartbeat scene had broken her. Watching Finn walk Steffi to the car, glowing with new purpose, had cracked something in her twisted brain. She wanted to be a part of it. No, she deserved to be part of it. She began showing up more often just out of sight, leaving anonymous gifts on the porch. A teddy bear, a pair of knitted booties, a framed photo of Finn as a baby with the word legacy scrawled in Sharpie on the back. At first, they thought it was a fan. Then Reg found the handwriting. Security doubled. Thomas moved in. Finn installed new locks, new cameras. But the emotional breach had already occurred. Steffi, once fearless, was now jumpy. Every creak in the house made her flinch. Finn tried to reassure her, but she saw it in his eyes she was scared too. And beneath it all, Sheila watched. She believed she had time. She always did. Then came the news segment. A local paper had caught wind of Steffi's pregnancy. Speculation bloomed. The Forrester name trended again. Reporters camped at the driveway. Brooke tried to intervene, making a public statement to request privacy. But the leak had already fueled the fire. Sheila knew now. It was confirmed. She wasn't just watching a fantasy anymore. There was a child. Her blood. And she would stop at nothing to get close. The final scene of the week ended on a cliffhanger. Literally. Finn stood on the edge of the rocks, gazing at the horizon, lost in thought. Behind him, a shadow approached silently. The camera cut to Steffi asleep in bed, one hand on her belly. Back to Finn. He turned. No one there. Or so it seemed. But just out of frame, Sheila's eyes glinted from the brush, watching, waiting. And the heartbeat kept pulsing. A promise. A threat. A countdown. The storm hadn't hit yet, but it was coming. The news of Steffi's pregnancy was still settling like golden dust across the Forrester estate when she did what Steffi Forrester always did in the face of change. She turned it into power. She wasn't just going to take time off, slow down, or disappear behind closed doors. She was going to use her pregnancy, her image, and her story to ignite a new era for Forrester Creations. And not just any linear luxury maternity brand, something the fashion world had been missing, and something only she could truly bring to life. She called it F-Glow. F for Forrester. F for female. F for fearless. Glow because that's what she was radiating: no strength, style, and undeniable presence. The idea came fast and strong, scribbled on the back of napkins, sketched in the margins of meeting notes, spoken aloud in late-night conversations with Finn. But Steffi wasn't just brainstorming, was building an empire. Rich didn't hesitate. He knew drive when he saw it, and no one could stop his daughter when she locked onto a vision. He called a board meeting and made it official. Steffi would serve as the face and interim creative director of F-Glow, with full autonomy to launch a capsule collection under the Forrester banner. Thomas would assist with technical design, Eric would offer his veteran guidance, and Donna quickly joined to coordinate behind-the-scenes logistics. It was a family effort, but Steffi was the star. And just across town, at Spencer Publications, word got out fast. Katie Logan, now leading a fresh media division focused on women's fashion and lifestyle, saw Steffi's pregnancy campaign as both a cultural moment and a business threat. Forrester was moving fast, leveraging Steffi's image while the press buzzed with pregnancy gossip. Katie acted quickly, rallying her team. She secured a partnership with Luna Milan, a Gen Z fashion influencer and part-time designer with a massive online following, launching a counter-maternity brand built around bold rebellion rather than soft elegance. Their motto, power, not pastels. What started as two visions of maternity fashion quickly escalated into a full-blown fashion war. Katie doubled down on social strategy behind-the-scenes TikToks, influencer try-ons, pregnancy body positivity campaigns. Forrester responded with cinematic promo reels, moody black and white editorials of Steffi in flowing silk, her hand resting on her barely there bump, her gaze fierce and unapologetic. Both sides knew the stakes. Ratings were climbing. Press coverage intensified. Even legacy publications like Vogue and Elle picked up on the brewing competition. Forrester's aesthetic leaned couture high glamour pregnancy pieces that celebrated the changes in a woman's body with elegance. Spencer's line was disruptive, a streeter for pregnant rebels, edgy and unconventional. As creative director, Steffi wasn't just posing for the camera, she was shaping every detail. Late nights in the design room, working with Thomas on fabric flow, with Donna on logistics, with Rich on timelines. Eric came out of semi-retirement to help her craft a signature wrap dress that instantly became the centerpiece of the collection, a modern reimagining of a classic silhouette. Perfect for photo shoots and red carpets alike. Taylor, ever the grounding force, coached her through the health risks of overworking during the first trimester, monitoring her energy, nutrition, and stress levels. Brooke surprised everyone by publicly endorsing F-Glow, making a rare statement to the press. Style doesn't stop when life begins. Steffi's proving that. Steffi took the support in stride, but kept her eyes on the runway. Everything was building toward one moment. The official F-Glow launch show, a televised event that would debut the collection, merge art and motherhood, and shift the momentum in Forrester's favor. No one expected the twist she had planned. The night of the show arrived. Celebrities, editors, influencers, and buyers packed into the custom-designed Forrester studio, reimagined for one night as a luminous garden. The lighting was warm, the music orchestral, but pulsing with a modern edge. Models emerged one by one, pregnant, proud, diverse, glowing. Every piece had a story. Every walk was a statement. Then the music paused. The lights dimmed. And Steffi stepped out. Gasps swept the crowd. She wore a tailored white jumpsuit that hugged her form in all the right ways, sophisticated, fierce, glowing. Her baby bump, barely visible until that moment, caught the light and shimmered. She didn't need a speech. The image spoke for itself. A woman in power. A woman in motion. A woman creating life, art, and empire all at once. The crowd rose. The camera snapped. Hashtags exploded. That single walk, 30 seconds long, became the top trending moment of the week. Steffi's glow-up trended globally. Every outlet from WWD to Harper's Bazaar dissected the symbolism, the staging, the quiet elegance of her reveal. Even Spencer's social channels reposted the clip, reluctantly acknowledging the impact. Katie, watching from her office, sighed but didn't panic. The war wasn't over. She scheduled a new campaign launch for Luna's streetwear line. But even she couldn't deny the brilliance of what Steffi had done. She turned a personal milestone into a cultural moment. Not through scandal or drama, but through vision, execution, and authenticity. In the days following the show, sales for F-Glow skyrocketed. Pre-orders broke Forrester records. Retailers called non-stop. Buyers demanded more sizes, more styles. The press called it the maternity revolution, an overdue reclamation of pregnancy in fashion. Steffi took a few days off after the event, her first real rest in weeks. Jacqueline McInnes Wood, the actress behind Steffi, was on maternity leave in real life, and the show wrote it in seamlessly. Finn, Thomas, and Taylor kept the story going, checking in on her, referencing her rest, protecting her legacy in her brief absence. But even off-screen, Steffi remained the center. She had silenced critics, defied expectations, and reshaped Forrester from within. And outside the house, past the gates and near the cliffs, Sheila Carter still watched, still waited. The family may have had a victory, but peace was never permanent in Los Angeles. The heartbeat of F-Glow had begun. And with every beat, the world paid attention.